be able to see much here.
Be careful around this corner. It can be very slippery right here.
Hmm?
Guys, be careful around that corner. It can be very slippery there. And also going down these stairs, they're a lot wider on the right-hand side than they are on the left.
תראי, שמתי פלאש עכשיו, אני יכול לראות אותה. כן, זה עוזר, רואים יותר.
איך לא עושים במצלמה שאפשר לצלם משהו?
צריך לכוון את זה לצילום לילה, אבל אז את צריכה להיות מאוד יציבה בתמונה. Yeah.
Wow, look at the ceiling, guys. Water. Third one.
This camera is not that great.
Now, folks, this right here is one of the oldest formations in the cavern. It's called Flowstone Falls. It's about 80 feet from the top to the bottom, 30-something feet across, and it's 6 to 8 foot thick in some spots. It's also known as a dead formation. No longer any water running on this one, so this one's no longer growing. Now, it was a full waterfall at one time. It just looks like one suspended in time now. And folks, the next section we go through here, there's going to be several low spots. Please watch your head. Now folks, the water that you see bubbling here, it looks an awful lot like a spring. Now it's not really a spring. Back behind Flowstone Falls, some of that water travels behind that wall. When there's enough of it, it'll bubble right here. When we're not getting any rain, you don't see any water through here at all. At that time, it's all running back behind the wall, and it comes back to us further down. Now this right here is called a balancing boulder, and it weighs about 4 tons. You can see it's held up by about 3.5 feet of rock on the right, 6 to 8 inches of rock on the left. But it stays a constant 58 degrees down here year round, never changes. None of these rocks ever expand or contract. They just sit where they're at. Please watch your heads going underneath it. And guys, if you'll step over to the rail here, we'll let this group go on by us.
Kind of reminds me of an elephant.
An elephant?
Yeah, there's his head.
Oh yeah,
There's his ear.
absolutely. You're right.
That's good.
I wish I could see it with this camera. I can't.
Do they call
Now folks, you'll notice that these columns are damaged. They dated that damage back to an earthquake that happened in 1811 on the western end of Tennessee by the Mississippi River. There's a fault there called the New Madrid Fault. That earthquake created a giant sinkhole there, and it actually caused the Mississippi River to run backwards into it for about 6 days. It created a lake there called Real Foot Lake. They dated this damage to that earthquake. They said that earthquake was so strong it actually rang church bells as far away as Philadelphia. It was a big earthquake.
Well, I can see a little bit more now. Not much, but this camera is a piece of crap. Yeah. Were you able to? It's okay. Don't. Take your time. Sorry, people.
That's all right.
It's real smooth if you touch the camera.
Yeah, it is. It becomes even more and more amazing.
When you get on the upper end, you get a chance to break something. Let's see, we're not all going to fit in here at one time anyway. I'll just go ahead and start and I'll do it again. Now guys, along with the bats and the crawdads and the salamanders that we have in here, I forgot to mention one more resident critter. His name is Old Tuck. See him up here on the wall? Look like a giant bear with his mouth open. When they put this light fixture in, that rock created that bear shadow. And that right there is called a cathedral because of all of the columns. And then this is the drapery room. Be careful along the railing, a lot of low rocks. I'm going to have to split us into probably two groups to go in there. Once the first group goes down and looks around, if you'll just come on up this side here, and then the second group can go down. You guys want to go down?
Hey, don't move like that. You can slip and fall and get hurt. Don't do that.
Just a hook.
Oh, it's amazing. זה מקליט.
אל תקליט דברים כאלה.
אל תדברי שטויות כאלה.
עדיף שנדבר איתך?
כן, אבל זה מקליט.
אז אל תקליט.
Iris, move away. Let Amy. Ew. Okay. That's amazing. It's completely dark.
If any of you guys have ever watched The Phantom of the Opera, we've got the mask right here also. Now folks, this one on the ceiling up here, that's called a chandelier or a pallet. That's the largest known chandelier in the world. don't usually grow that big. They grow from a crack in the sidewall back here. They grow outward. They're not attached to the ceiling. Now this one got lucky. There's a ledge down here, grew some columns, took some weight off. But normally, a chandelier will grow to be about this
תלמיד, זה
size
יפה.
right here. And then they fall off from their own weight because they're not attached to the ceiling. And folks, the portion of the cavern that we toured, it's about a half a mile worth of cavern, but they've been in over 4 miles of this one. This water keeps going down here, goes underneath this wall. There's another gigantic room on the other side. Water keeps going for about another 2.5 miles. You know where you guys turned in by the cemetery up there? A little bit down past that on the left-hand side, there's a pond there. It's called the Tuchaleechee Trout Farm, and that's where this water comes back to ground. From there, it ends up flowing into Little River, the river that flows through town. There's quite a bit of cavern here.
כן, צריך להראות לך שנייה.
Government? No, it's privately owned. Bill Menendez, one of the 2 6-year-old boys, his 2 sons.
It's been open.
Since 1953, about 58 years.
How does this place compare to Mammoth Cave?
Well, AAA rates this cavern as the top-rated cave in Tennessee or Kentucky. Even though Mammoth is the longest cavern in the world, they've mapped like 235 miles of it, and they're not done mapping it yet. It goes underneath 3 states, but AAA still rates this cavern above it. When you're going through Mammoth, I've never been through it, but people tell me it's more like walking through an awful. You don't see many formations of any kind, and they don't have any running water. This is still a very active cave. This one still grows. It's one of the few that is.
How long have they had the part open from?
In 55. Yeah, they opened in 53, but for the first 2 years, they didn't know this room was here.
For the first how many years?
אלה מים אמורים להיות יותר טהורים ממים מינרליים. מים שנמצאים כל אורך המערה הזאת.
Guys, stay there. Or do you want to get the picture here? No, it's water.
Oh yeah. הנה, את לא רואה שאני מצלם עכשיו? לא, אני לא כל הזמן מצלם, אתה כל הזמן נודניק. הנה אשת לוט המקומית. פה באנו.
Well, I can get you guys right here.
We'll go on.
We'll get a larger picture with the others later.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, looks like